the steps for your eyes, your nose, and your mouth, and where to place those on your clay project. Today, I'm going to show you the last couple of things, and then if you have any questions, anything special that you need to know about, then we can go on and go over that. On your ears, which would be the next feature, I put those on before you put your hair on. It's just sequencing-wise, it's a lot easier. You're going to get another extra piece of clay, and just like I did the other day, if it's small enough, I can just kind of squeeze it in my hand to knead it, because you want to make sure you don't have any air pockets in any clay that you add to your face, as well as the clay body that you started with. And after you knead it, then you can kind of roll it in a ball. You can either roll it in between your hands, or you can roll it on the desk, or patty cake it, like we talked about on Monday, where you kind of go like this, but it's kind of small, so it's probably easier to roll it. Then you're going to lay it down, take your clay tool, cut it in half. Now this might make a really huge ear, so I'm kind of probably going to cut this in half again. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I've cut half of the half in half for a quarter, and then you're going to roll it into a ball and roll the other piece into a ball. And then what I do is I kind of flatten it to about a 1/4 inch thick. You don't want it really thick, but you don't want it too skinny either, so kind of a happy little medium. Then I take my little clay tool and my pencil, and I'm going to draw the shape of the ear. Can you guys see that? Okay. I'm going to draw the shape of the ear. I think of it kind of like a little Valentine heart, like a little half a heart, with a little loop on the bottom of it. And then, just like you're making little sugar cookies or something, you're just going to cut that shape out. And then you kind of take your finger and kind of smooth the edge, because if you have a rough edge and you don't smooth it out, when it's fired, it's going to be sharp and could cut you. So you want to make sure you smooth that out all around. Then with your other ball of clay, you're going to flatten it again, just like you did with the first ball of clay, and to about the same thickness. And then you lay this down. I'm going to lay the other ear on top of it, backwards, and I'm going to trace it on my clay. That way, both ears are the same size. And then I'm going to cut this out again. And smooth out the edges. And if you want, if you add a little water to it, again, spray down towards clay, not out towards people around you. Smooth that edge down. So now I got a pair of ears to match right here. When you add one piece of clay to another piece of clay, you need to score it. And if you remember on Monday, we talked about scoring means you make little cut marks, in the clay on the part where you're going to add it, and on the part where you're going to place it onto your face, which you have these two guidelines for your nose and your eyeballs. So that's where the ear is going to go, in that little spot right there. Again, I'm going to take a little water with my spray bottle, spritz a little water on there, then I can pop my ear into place. And I could smooth and attach this. I kind of smush this little edge together on the front side, and I do the same thing on the back side. Who's kicking? Okay, scoot back, please. Thank you. All right, so you're going to smooth that out. So it looks like it's all one big happy piece of clay. Then you repeat that process for the other side. Again, I'm going to take my clay tool. I'm going to score it. I'm going to score the place where it's going to attach. Put a little water on it. And I want to make sure when I'm putting the other ear on, I kind of match it up so it looks like they're level with each other. Going to smush the edge. Attach those two. Make sure I do the same thing on the back. So I have my ears attached. On your eyebrows, which I would probably do next before I do my hair, if I have some extra pieces, I can use these. If I happen to have two pieces that are kind of the same size, that'd be even better. If not, you can roll out like a little coil of clay, like you're going to do for your hair here in a minute, and I'll show you. Kind of smooth out all the cracks. Again, when I add one piece of clay to another piece of clay, I'm always going to score that. I'm also going to score on the face where my eyebrow is going to go. Spritz a little water on it. Pop my little eyebrow on there. Again, I'm going to smush the edge down on both sides so my eyebrow doesn't fall off when it starts to dry out. Well, they're important. Okay, and then same thing with the other side. I'm going to score the back side where that I'm going to attach it. Score on my face where it's going to go. Yes?
Here's a question. He's dying.
Okay, yes?
Alright. Are we going to make the animals like we did last year?
No, we're making clay faces. And let's just remember the expectation is that we're going to watch quietly. If you have questions at the end, I'd be happy to entertain those. But right now, I'm just kind of walking you through the process so that you know how to get started. Again, I'm going to smooth down the edge. I'm not smushing this whole thing, just a little bit of the edge of it to help that eyebrow hold on to its place. Then, like we talked about before, if you want to add a little texture, I like this little clay tool. It's got a little zigzag edge on it. You can kind of go back and give a little texture to your eyebrows so they look a little different. They have a little different look to them than your skin. On your hair, you take this clay ball. I've already kind of kneaded it. I'm going to roll it out like a coil, or maybe you made little pinch or coil pots in elementary school, or a little like snake, maybe with your Play-Doh. You roll it out, and you can make them as long as you need them. In fact, I kind of make a really long one, and then I can cut it into different lengths of pieces. So you'll roll out several of those. And then once you have several going, then you can add them on as you need them. Take another piece of clay, knead it in my hand. Going to roll it out. Okay, so here's my face. I'm making kind of short hair. I kind of figure out how long each piece needs to be. I can cut it to the right size. And then it's just a matter of cutting a bunch of pieces. When you add your hair on there, you do the same thing like with your ears. You're going to score the back side of that piece, of that strand. And you're going to score on your forehead or on your top of your head where that piece is going to attach. Put a little water on it, kind of seal the deal. Put your hair there. If it kind of curves a little bit, if it kind of has a little body wave to it or something, you can do that. Give it a little personality. Or if it sticks up, however your hair looks in the morning. Again, this first piece is your anchor piece because all the other ones are going to kind of hook to it. So you're going to be able to smooth down or smush down both sides of it, which is very important because it holds the rest of it on, right? You're not smushing the whole thing down, you're just smushing a little bit of the edge, right? And then I go back, I score this, I put a little more water on it. I put a little more water on it. I score the back of it. This one I'm going to kind of rough up the side here just a little bit because I'm adding this piece to it. Got a little water. Lay the next piece next to it. I won't be able to really smooth this in too much because it's up against that first piece, but I can definitely make sure that this side is well attached. On the back. So you just keep adding pieces until you've covered the top of your head. When you've added all the pieces on, then you can go back and add a little bit of texture to those pieces so it looks more like your natural hair, right? And you continue that on. When you're totally finished, your hair is all attached so it's not going to fall off. On the very back side, you're going to make sure all the cracks are smoothed out. You're going to write your name on the inside of it, and I just use a pencil and write my name on the back so we know whose is whose. If you want to put your teacher's name on that, like you guys are in Miss Gump's class, if you want to put your name and Miss Gump's names on there, that's great. The more information you have, the more likely we can keep track of it so that you get yours back as soon as it's fired and you can glaze it.
Like your birthday and stuff.
Does anyone have any questions on that? Yes.
What if your hair's like flying? It goes up.
Well, if it goes up, then when you add it, you can either squeeze this out. You can either make the pieces shorter and so instead of scoring the side of it, you would score the end, the short end of it, and have it come out like this. It is going to take a little bit of extra care because it doesn't have as much to hang on to the base or the scalp there. But if you score your pieces to each other on the sides as well as the ones that stick up, it'll be okay. You'll have to be careful with it when you're moving it around so all the pieces don't fall off, but it's not impossible. Yes?
What if you do like mine? Can you still use the clay to put on there? And you can just score.
Well, you have hair, so you're going to have to add clay
What if my hair's
pieces
like
of hair.
mine?
Yes.
Can I, like, if I spike it up?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Do you want me
What
to
if you
stop
don't,
now?
do we have to do